Hello, I'm Denis Labrecque, and I'm going to teach you how to code your first basic HTML web page. Now, why would you code your web page? Because if you're like me, you're wondering why in the world would people take the time to actually hard code their web page when they could take any free website on the internet and start making their page on their own, and very easily, almost like a Word editor or something like that. Now, one of the reasons is for complete control, because obviously when you code, you don't get those extra tags or extra different things that editors will do automatically for you that you don't know about. So you get control over the styles, so that of course the style be your original work and that you're not taking a template, and so that they be customized by the user. There are ways of changing your style sheets. That means that if you make your style sheets on your own, the user can actually click somewhere and make your whole page have a different style, and your whole site even. And you'll have more complete control over the layout, you'll have more complete control over the site structure, where your pictures go, where everything goes, and you'll have complete control over your scripts and what they do. Also, you can make large-scale style changes simple. That means that if you change a declaration in your style sheet, you will change your whole site in one click, or a few types. And one reason why you would do it is just to do as professionals do it. You would code your web page because professionals code their web page, and also to learn how to code a web page, of course. So what we'll learn in this tutorial: how to code the simplest possible web page. That is a basic web page with no frills on it, and you will learn the basic HTML tags. So let's get going. I have my folder ready with an image folder with the images I will use for my site, but we won't use this right away. So what you'll want to do is create a new text document. Make sure that in your view panel you have the file name extensions open, so that when you rename your document, you delete everything, and you call this index.html, and you change the file extension. You see that becomes a web page now. So what I did is I called it index because when you make a site, you want your home page to be called index, since browsers automatically go to the index of a folder as a home page. So that's very good to know. Now I will open it. I could open it with Notepad. In fact, any text editor that doesn't add code behind, like Microsoft Word, that would not be good. It has to be a plain text editor. Will do. So I will use ActiveState Komodo though, and that program permits me to have different aids when I make my document, and one of those aids is to have colors as on your tags. So HTML works with tags all the way. So I'll start with my beginning tag, which is HTML, and see it automatically added a closing tag. So that means start my HTML document, stop my HTML document. Same thing for body, start, stop. So body is what will appear in the HTML document. Now if I do H1, this is my title. You might call it a heading. And if I do P, this is a paragraph. I save, Control S. Then let's go to our root folder and open it up. And ta-da! We have our complete web page in about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. So that's all it takes, really, that's all it takes to make a web page. Now, of course, this wouldn't be very complete, and as I promised you, we will learn how I just discussed the HTML tag, the body tag, the heads. Now, what I want to make you notice with the heads, or the titles if you want, if I go back to this document here, I have H1 written down. Now I could write H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, up to H6. H6 would be a very small logical division that's quite rare. With paragraphs, you just have a paragraph tag that we just wrote, and links. You will not be very surprised, I believe, to see that links are written with a new tag, and that tag is A. So if we just try it out, sorry, I missed my folder here. Actually, I wasn't aiming for the folder either, but let's go in our paragraph. and I'll add a link around the text called paragraph. Now notice I have to delete this because I want my link to surround the word paragraph. So this starts a link here and ends it there. This will not work because the link actually has to go somewhere. So the way we tell the link to go somewhere is we write href equals, and now comes my discussion of what we call absolute and relative links. Now, absolute links are to a URL, basically, an HTTP // I want to write bing.com, and that anywhere around the world you can keep the same URL and it'll still bring you to the same place. Now that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is a relative link, and relative links are based on where you have your document. Now I have my document index.html in a folder called root. So if I tell my link to go to a folder called image and jet1, I'll have to do it this way. I'll first have to go in the folder, so it's called image, and then I have an image called jet1.ping. I must not forget the file extension .ping. That's a type of image. If you don't put that file extension, your image won't actually, your link won't work. So if you're referring to another HTML document, you have to put .html. If you're referring to a text document, .txt, a Word document, etc. So if I do F5 to refresh, we see that, ta-da, my link is there. If I click on it, I'll go to the image that I linked it to. And remark that by default, Firefox, here the browser I'm using, comes with a nice picture viewer. So the next thing we're going to look at is how to add images into an HTML document. Therefore, if I go back into my HTML document, say I want to add an image right after my paragraph, I want to add an image here. What I do to do that is write this tag called image, and now we have something a little different. Instead of writing href as you might think, href is to actually go somewhere. I will write src, which stands for source, which is to import the picture inside my document. So once I import the picture, well, how I'll import my picture is just doing this exact same URL. That's a relative link to where my picture is. And you'll notice something different here too. I'll end my tag this way. So I began my tags normally. Usually we have a beginning tag, end tag, beginning tag, end tag, beginning tag, end tag, beginning tag, end tag, beginning tag, end tag. Get the pattern. But in this case, we call this let me go check, I forget the word. We call it an empty element, because there's actually nothing that image contains. It's just importing an image. It would be incorrect to write this, for instance, because you don't actually insert any content within this part of the image. So the image is standing alone, and we write it that way. Be sure to add a space in front slash, which makes it compatible with XML. You might see people who write it this way, but the best way to do it is like that. So if we update F5, here we have our image. Now obviously it's much too big, but we will only correct that in my next tutorial, which will be how to create style sheets. So this is a basic HTML document. And we have seen how to create the HTML tag, which creates the HTML document, the body tag, which is what we see, the paragraph, the headers, or the titles, the paragraphs, links, and images. So next time, I'll be showing you how to style the page as you want it to look like. So I hope this video is useful to you, and I hope to see you in my next video.